With my growing obsession for Starsand Island, I want to share with you what I have in the title to be 50 beginner tips and tricks, but I think it's like over 70, but who's counting? I'm gonna sort them into different categories so it's easy for you to navigate. Keep in mind that the game just launched into early access, so some features might change in future updates. Hello gorgeous human being, it's Miss Bubbles. If you love videos like this and you want even more Starsand Island, make sure to squish the like and subscribe buttons because I've got a lot more coming. Thank you Seed Sparkle Lab and Renaissance PR for partnering with me on this video. So when you start the game, the first decision you're gonna be making is how are you gonna customize your character. While the starter range of hairstyles and clothes might be limited at first, you're gonna get a ton more options down the line as you complete quests, challenges, and progress the story. So you have the ability to change things later on. You also have this color wheel to customize your eye color, hair color, brow color, skin tone, and even makeup. After you start the game and start unlocking some outfits, you can visit the Bloom Atelier here or Lunel at Ethereal Styles. The first one is for hairstyles, makeup, eye color, and such, and the second one is for outfits. Plus, you're gonna unlock some to make yourself. Once you've bought a few outfits, you can easily change them by using a wardrobe in your house. You're gonna be gifted with one early on in the game. But you can also use your phone at any time and use the makeup or wardrobe apps to change. Outfits are divided into 3 categories: regular ones, PJs, and swimwear. And you can save up to 5 presets for every category. So here I am, I wanted to look so bougie and luxurious, so why not farm while I have this gorgeous set on? By the way, clothes are also divided into hats, tops, bottoms, sets, hand, shoes, and masks. I would recommend to check your wardrobe and makeup apps even if you haven't purchased anything, because you might notice that you've unlocked something new just by playing through the game and exploring. Another thing that will pop up in the beginning is choosing one of the house layouts. You can watch a cutscene to see how your house might look like, but for some reason I thought that I needed to decide right on the spot, so I got a bit anxious. Well, don't worry, your decision is for later on in the game and you can change it. Plus, you're gonna get an 80% discount right off the bat to use at the furniture shop, so you can buy one of these for pretty cheap. I think it was like 10,000. When it comes to customizing your land, the options are endless. You can multi-select items, rotate your objects, turn the grid on and off, choose to overlap objects. So you see how we use the cheat code move objects on in Sims? Well, you just have a button here to use that and you can clutter away. You can expand your walls, your floor, your stairs, move the windows and the doors. You can terraform your terrain, you name it, the sky is the limit here. Whether you have motion sickness or not, I also want to show you some of the settings. These are very important. So you can change the display mode, resolution, FPS, etc. But the most important one is toggling motion blur off if you have motion sickness. You can also change the brightness, play around with graphic settings to make the game run better on your PC, and you can change different audio settings. I ended up lowering the music volume. In the settings, you can also change the autosave interval. We also have keybinds here. I also suggest toggling the sprint to click rather than hold. Turn down rumble intensity if your controller runs out of battery quickly. And in the camera sensitivity, play around with the X and Y axis because that will also help you with motion sickness. The lower it is, the slower the camera will move, which means you're not gonna be caught off guard. And since the game is in early access, if you ever get stuck, click the unstuck button in this menu to help you out. One of the many highlights of Starsand Island is the 5 professions that you can excel in. Each one can be leveled up from the rank of apprentice to junior, then intermediate, then senior, and finally expert. Even though the game suggests you can choose only one if you want to, I would say there is a synergy system between the professions, which is very similar to games like Fantasy Life. When you begin, the game is gonna suggest you start with the crafting profession, and I highly suggest you pick it. This profession is gonna let you craft items that will make Traversal so much faster, starting with the skateboard at the apprentice level, and then the fun really begins at junior level where you craft the roller skates. These are gonna let you jump jump like the skateboard, but you can also accelerate your speed, so you're gonna be going crazy. I ended up enjoying them a lot more than the vehicles that you can rent or purchase. And crafting also helps you a lot because at the first 2 levels, you can unlock these very crucial skills. The efficiency boost, which increases your efficiency when chopping wood and mining, and then the tiptoe skill, which makes catching bugs a lot easier because running is not gonna startle them anymore. The crafting skill also lets you upgrade your machines so you can craft a range of complex items. By the way, once you upgrade your machine to the next level, you can now craft the upgraded version straight from your working table, so you don't have to use the first level blueprint first and then upgrade it like you did initially. After the crafting skill, you can choose whatever profession you like next. If you want my suggestion, I would say go with farming. Here are a couple of tips I have about it, and I will expand on this profession more when we reach the money-making category. When you till the field, the game might take a while to tell you how to untill it. Just use your pickaxe on it and you can have it gone. The fields will attract weeds, so I suggest getting bunnies, which are tied to the ranching profession. However, when it's raining, keep in mind that these bunnies are not gonna help you out because they're gonna just stay home and stay cozy. And while watering your crops, here's a tip: you can hold the action button and move in between fields. I don't know why for the first 5 hours of the game, I thought I can only long press at one field at a time, so I had the process taking a lot longer than it should have. Another profession I want to talk about is exploration, because this is the main way you'll be exploring the magical moonlit forest. This area is absolutely stunning, and whenever you unlock a new area, take some time to read the information about the floor from the portal. It's gonna tell you what kind of dangers are expected ahead and what the overall theme will look like so you can be prepared. You also have the campfire areas at every level where you can sleep, you can make food, you can craft some items so you can be ready. Inside the mines, you'll see these piles which you might not think much of, but I would recommend digging them up because they usually have some rare ores that you can analyze. If you press the analyze button, prematurely by mistake, and then you're working on one ore at a time, you can press the X button on your controller or click add using the mouse and keyboard to add more. You can also stop the process to get your resources back. The mines are also riddled with puzzles. What might seem normal can be actually a hidden secret. For example, picking all these mushrooms turned out to be a puzzle and it gave me a reward. Cutting the shrub and walking to this exact spot was also a puzzle and it rewarded me when I didn't know that it was a puzzle. Every corner has a secret, including hidden chests, so take advantage of those. By the way, when you mine or even chop trees, you can either short press the action button to do a little bit of damage, or you can long press to do even more damage. I feel the second method is faster. It will take up a little bit more stamina, but in general, I felt like I was managing my stamina pretty easily. You can regenerate the stamina by sitting, using the swing, eating food, using the hot springs, so there's an abundance of ways to regain it. Combat is also a possibility in the mines. I recommend trying different pellets to see which one does more damage to the enemy that you're tackling. But if you don't like combat, simply use these sentry bots, which you can craft, and use them so they can do the work on your behalf. We all know with farming games, we tend to hoard a lot. We tend to have a little bit of organization problems. So I hope that these tips will help you out. If you love keeping stock of many materials, which I think you definitely should be doing, especially stocking up on a variety of ores, stone, and softwood in the beginning, because you're going to need them for a lot of upgrades. And this ties into my previous tip. I really suggest you start with the crafting profession. Why? Because you're going to unlock the storage box 2 blueprint at Zaren's general store. This is a medium capacity storage which lets you place 36 items early on. And the further you get in the profession, the bigger the storage boxes are gonna be, leading up to a realm box which you can take with you anywhere. And I gotta say, these storage boxes are flippin' amazing. You can easily sort items inside, you can change the name of the box, heck, you can even switch between them in 3 ways. You can either walk to each box and open it, but I think this is the long and boring way, or you can just switch between them like this from the menu. And better yet, if you have so many but you already named your boxes and you know exactly where the ingredient that you want is, you simply click on this, you're gonna see the list of all of them, click whichever one you want, and voila, you're gonna find your resources so quickly. Now let's say you crafted something and you're like where the heck is it? I just can't see it. It's not in my inventory. Well, your backpack organizes things into different categories. So for example, when you craft a machine, you're not gonna find it in the general tab, you're gonna find it here in this tab, which is called equipment. There's also another tab which is specifically used for key items and so on. And speaking of your bag, you can expand the capacity by clicking on this button and using whichever materials the next upgrade needs. And when you're crafting, you don't have to have all the materials in your bag. If you have them in storage, you can still easily craft them. But let's say you want to give someone a gift, then you're gonna have to have the ingredients in your bag. Early on, it's gonna be easy for you to feel a little bit overwhelmed with how many resources you have, and sometimes you will run out of inventory. So let's say someone is gonna give you a gift, don't worry, they're gonna send it to your mailbox if your bag is full. And if you find something, especially a rare catch or an item, and again, you happen to have your bag full, don't worry, the item will be left on the floor, you can simply pick it up. Like, for example, I forgot that I even caught this bug and I didn't have room for it. I came back days later and it was here. I also want to explain to you the different in-game currencies that you're gonna use, all of which are granted inside the game, meaning this game is not gonna require real money. So you have your coin currency, which you can use to buy blueprints, ingredients, clothes, etc. You also have these tokens that you can get at the arcade and use them there. And we have the Starsand currency, which you can gather by completing bulletin board quests, exploring the island, completing tasks, and you can spend them on skills. How about your favorite topic? Romance, relationships, all of that. We have 12 bachelors and bachelorettes already in the early access, and we have more coming on the way, but the game works by using an affection system, and you have 5 hearts to reach, where the last one means that the person can move in with you. If you give the NPCs gifts that they like, it's gonna increase your affection with them, and sometimes they're randomly going to give you gifts. They'll even remember gifts that you have given them, and then they will talk about it the next time you talk to them. And one of the easiest gifts that I found so far is the moonflower from the moonlit forest. Everyone seems to love it, like I easily get 10 to 15 points. This easily stacks up, especially when you're completing bulletin board quests, because they also give you a lot of affection points. Not only that, but also working on the progression of your professions is also going to give you even more points, because every quest is going to be related to someone. The developers are planning to make the romance system even more complex, so I'm excited to see how it's gonna unfold. Let me know, what would you like to see next? Exploration, movement, and navigation are very important. Starsand Island is massive and the moonlit forest is huge. So let me guide you with it. First, if you're moving on foot, you can sprint by pressing RB on your Xbox controller or shift on your keyboard and mouse. This is why it's important to make sure to have the toggles that I talked about in the settings category. Otherwise, you're gonna keep having to hold it down, and I don't know about you, but my fingers just don't like that. You also have an abundance of ways to travel around the world. Vehicles, roller skates, skateboards, and guess what? These are not the only ways of transportation. You can even rent animals to ride, or better yet, have your own barn animals become your ride. You're gonna be surprised by the creativity behind the different ways that you can navigate and enjoy traversal in this game. And while you're traversing this world, it might be easy for you to forget because you're just focused on your next objective. Keep your eyes peeled because you might find these gift boxes randomly on the floor. These are lost items, similar to the ones that we see in Animal Crossing. However, in this game, when you pick them up, you will automatically know exactly who it belongs to, and when you return it, you're gonna get some sweet rewards in return. The map is your best friend. You're gonna be using it a lot here. It makes navigating the world so much easier. Yes, you have the mini-map on the upper right corner, which is self-explanatory, but the real magic happens inside this big map. First, we have 2 tabs. One is for Starsand Island in general. Then on the next tab, you can see the entire map of the moonlit forest right off the bat, and you can even see where the next boss fight is going to be located. I love that the map easily tells you where everyone is going to be, even when you did not meet them yet. First, you can use that to your own advantage to find all the grayed out NPCs and animals in your social app. Second, which is also very important, it shows you what time shops are gonna be open, which takes out the memorization work for you. You can also easily track your mentors for each of the 5 professions. And I love that we have up to 99 markers that we can use on the map to easily remember important places that we might want to come back to because maybe we found a legendary fish or we found something special. And better yet, the marker is customizable. You can choose what icon it's gonna have and you can name it. While exploring the town, you're going to see many tourists around. Your first thought might be like, maybe they have nothing to say. Well, they all have unique dialogue to share, and the first time you talk to them, they might give you random gifts. You might also stumble across someone who wants you to take a photo for them, and they're gonna reward you for it. I also managed to start the port quest that unlocks the merchant boat by talking to Marston on the beach, even though there was no indication for a quest and nothing really pointed at the importance of me talking to him in the first place. Another thing that I saw and I was a bit confused about is these shining lights here. I thought maybe it's a bug or something. Well, these can either be as simple as touching them to receive a treasure chest, or they might set you on a platforming chase to get the chest. Anytime you fall off, the light will reset. Some of them are very difficult to get, but I think they're worth the chase if you have some spare time. I also feel like this game just loves to reward you for no reason whatsoever other than you're just exploring and interacting with the world. So sometimes you might interact with a pet and turns out they have a little gift for you. When you talk to them, the game will tell you that they want to show you something. Follow them and they're gonna lead you to a hidden treasure chest. And with all the locations in the game, I gotta say the beach is one of my favorite places on the map. Did you know that these little holes in the sand that shoot water can be dug? And sometimes you might end up finding a treasure map. Hold it in your hand and follow the arrow. This is gonna lead you to a spot that you can dig and voila, you got your treasure. Coins are gonna also be your best friend, especially if you're like me and you love to buy so many outfits and hairstyles and all of that. So let me give you a few money-making tips. So far, I feel like farming is the easiest for me, especially wheat. They grow so fast, and if you have an everlasting seed, you're gonna have a great time because you don't even have to buy it again. It's just gonna give you wheat every single day, and these add up very quickly. And another thing is that this game is very similar to my time at Sandrock and Portia, which use the commission system. I highly recommend investing your time in picking up some of these bulletin board quests because they're gonna give you a lot of money. And the more you progress your island through the Island Life app, the more requests you can pick up. In the beginning, you can only get 3 of them, which refresh every single day at 6 a.m. But the further you progress in this app, the more resident quests you can pick up at the same time. And remember that Marston quest that I talked about earlier? Well, this leads to Starsand Port in this area. There's a merchant ship that will come here and they will have items that they're willing to buy with 200% markup price, which is amazing because you're gonna be making a ton of money. And if you're like me, you're spending so much time in the moonlit forest, then you can use these mushrooms and make the mushroom soup. It sells for quite a lot of money as well. I talked about the importance of quality of life features in farming games to make the gameplay more fun, so let me talk about a few of them. You can pick up forgeable items from the ground even when you're moving around in your scooter, roller skates, etc. So you don't have to get off or stop completely to pick them up, and I feel like this one makes picking up the random spawns of berries and mushrooms, and especially stones and softwood, very easy and quick to pick. And when you're crafting, you can track exactly the resources and the amount of each that you need by clicking on your left Joy-Con stick when crafting, or clicking track using your keyboard and mouse. Now you're gonna see this box here that shows you exactly what you need. And as the game has a lot of quests, but also you just might like someone and you want to see them, if you're looking for someone specific that you've already met, you can go to the social app on your phone, click or press the locate button, and now you can easily find them on your map. And I love that the game will register what you have in your storage when you're crafting items, so you're not gonna have to go and look into all of your boxes to find X, Y, and Z material. If you want to craft something, just go ahead and do it. As long as you have it in your storage, it's gonna be okay. And let's add 2 of my own quality of life tips that you might struggle with at first. So I noticed that the game saves when you sleep or at the different intervals depending on the frequency that you choose in your settings. But if you just need to quickly save because life requires your attention and we all have a life to live, you can enter fly mode at your house quickly, exit that, and here you see the logo showing up, meaning that your game is saved. You can also load up a previous save. You do so by pressing the menu button on your Xbox controller or escape on keyboard, and this shows you the last 7 days that have passed, and you can roll back to whichever you want. But how about pausing your game? Well, you can do so whenever you are navigating any of the menus, including the apps on your phone, or when you are at any of the crafting screens, you're browsing shops, or you press escape to see the menu button, or you're in the building mode. All of these ways will pause your game. You know, when we're playing games like this that has so many different mechanics, it's also very easy for us to miss stuff or just simply forget them. So I wanted to show you this app here. This is the Islandpedia, and occasionally it's gonna give you some accomplishments and rewards for completing different tasks in the collection. So you're gonna gather stamps. So for example, I forged X amount of mushrooms and I got rewards for it. This is so easy to miss. And when you're picking up different bulletin board quests, you can also forget what they needed. Well, all of these are gonna get registered here in your quests. This is easily accessible for you by going to the Journey app on your phone. Another thing that is so easy to miss is that, similar to your bag, shops also have different categories. So for example, when you're at Nona's auto shop, at first glance you'd be like, oh, I can only buy vehicles and sell stuff to her. Well, not really. You can also have other tabs. For example, here you have a lot of blueprints, including a carriage that you can build for yourself. And this applies to other shops, so always make sure to take a look and see if there's another tab that you can access. And the funniest thing is, even though this game is all about professions and skills, for some reason I kept forgetting about the Workpedia app on my phone. This is the app that lets you unlock various skills related to your professions, and at one point I had over 500 star points and I completely forgot to use them. So remember to check back in and see what skills you can unlock, and if you're confused as to what skills to unlock in the beginning, I would suggest the efficiency boost from the crafting tab that we already talked about, the fisher's gain from the fishing tab for some extra treasure when fishing, and if you like combat, invest in the power strike in the exploration tab for more critical damage chances, and again the tiptoe skill to make bug catching easier. These should make the beginning of the game pretty easy for you. And while we're at it talking about some things that you might miss, how about some more fun factors that you could just do and enjoy? So you might have seen the Chrono Arcade before. First, you can go to Lauren's shop to get 20 free tokens to get started. Second, by completing different challenges, you can unlock some cool items, including hairstyles and outfits. So this makes completing and playing these games actually rewarding. And of course, we know that this game has so many cute pets. So apart from all the ranch animals that you can get, you can also buy cats and dogs at the Woof and Wow store. You can get some cute outfits for them, some accessories, but if you don't have the money for it, you can adopt pets. Many of them are around town. You can easily see where they are on your map, and when you interact with them and give them their favorite food and you reach level 3 affection with them, you can adopt them. And the higher your affection level with them, the more cute interactions you can have, like have them spin. There's also this really cool feature of taking pictures, right? You probably already have seen that. But there's an easily missed opportunity that you can completely not notice, which is this game rewards you for taking pictures and you're gonna get some goodies in return. So you see this app on your phone, it's called the Album app. There's a variety of challenges to complete by taking photos. So it's gonna task you to take like selfies next to a specific shop and whatnot. They're very fun to do. They actually make taking pictures in the game rewarding, and it's a win-win for everyone. I also noticed these sparkles at Pastel's ranch, and apparently we can steal in this game, so there you go. And you're not gonna have any penalties, like let's say how you do in Skyrim. So far, it seems like you can just steal and get away with it, but imagine if there is a punishment for stealing. That would be really funny. I'm still blown away by how beautiful this game is. It gives that Studio Ghibli-esque beauty. Like there's so much here to immerse yourself in, and you can see that the devs have poured so much love into it, and I don't want you to miss out on this feeling of immersion and enjoying the game. You know, it can get easy for us to be like, I need to make all the money and I need to romance this and do that and do this, but let me show you some things that I did that really made me enjoy this game and kind of embrace like my soft life in a farming sim. Many of the items in the world are interactive. The swing can be used, and the higher that you swing, the more you're gonna see your character just throwing their hands up in the air. It's so cute. You can take pictures of that. You can sit on different chairs and benches, even these lounge chairs that you find at the beach, and you can just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna sit here, enjoy a beautiful sunset, and just have the best time. You can even open and close both doors and windows. You can turn the lights on and off. You can place pictures in photo frames and more. These are just a few of the many ways that you can feel so immersed in this world. And another tip when you're in immersion, I feel like this happens a lot right now, maybe because the game is in early access, but when you enter dialogue, especially if there was a cutscene, but sometimes even if there is no cutscene, you're gonna see the camera throwing you behind a chair or a desk or something like that. Well, you can rotate the camera here to have the frame be wherever you want it to be. A lot of games, including RPGs and farming sims, lock the camera, but here you can still move it even when you're in a dialogue. These are just a few of the many tips that I have come across. I'm working on a lot more. Let me know what are your favorite tips down in the comment section. And if you want to know what I think about the game so far, I have a before you buy. I'll pin it for you down below. We're going to be streaming the game a lot, so make sure to squish the like and subscribe buttons. I would love to see you again. Thank you to my YouTube and Patreon bubblies who make videos like this possible, and a shout out goes to the Game Dimension, Yugoslav and Stella for going the extra mile. Until next time, stay bubbly.